This is something that obviously God has more than has his hand on, because there's nothing that VCC or Archdiocese of Atlanta or all our wonderful partners were going to be able to do on our own that was going to make this happen. So the excitement, the quality and the caliber of the talks that I'm seeing and I'm screening as they come in is just it's top notch. They're inspirational. They're concise within most of them, within 30 to 40 minutes. They really hit hard, hit the topic, hit the top points, and then we'll have the live chat schedule to follow up with some of those, so there can be a deep dive into what they were able to, sometimes only scratch the surface of, but at least get some excitement going within things like the RCA community or the disabilities community or our Hispanic brothers and sisters in all those different topics. So thank you for that. And if there's anything anybody else wants to say before Matt and I kind of take over, I'm going to open up the floor briefly so we know if there's anything else we need to be addressing or getting ready to address. Any concerns, any thoughts? How's it going?
Perhaps we're not in second place anymore, but up until today, we were in second place. I was excited to see that. So we'll keep pushing.
I need to know where I'm going to take people to dinner.
Yeah. Good for you. I'm not sure if you're going to address it at a more appropriate time, but the live chat schedule and whatnot that I picked up, I'm not sure where that is on the, I'm not sure where that is on the website.
I can't hear you, Brian.
I can hear you, Brian.
We can hear you, Brian.
Yeah, I can hear you, Brian.
Yeah, I can hear Brian too. I can hear him.
Uh-oh.
I have no idea why I can't hear.
Can you hear any of us, Michelle?
Can you hear any of us? Sometimes there's a certain frequency.
Can you hear anybody?
Michael, can you talk? Try talking.
I can talk.
I can't hear you either. You can hear. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, we can hear.
I can't hear anybody suddenly.
Yeah,
Right.
we can hear you.
I am not hearing anything.
Might need to check your, so I'm going to help her. She can't hear us.
This could be fun.
You're on mute. Matt, you're muted.
So much for headphones idea.
That's all.
Yeah.
All right, Brian, if you want to go ahead and push forward.
Thanks. The live chat schedule that came out, I'm just not sure where it is on the website or whatnot. So perhaps you're going to be covering that. And if that's the case, move on. But if not, I'd love to know where that's going to be available so that folks can get it, or if they're receiving it directly as they register.
I can answer that real quick. And actually, Benny, can you give me a screen share? It's on the website right now. We're going to be doing redundant communications with people as we get closer to pushing all of this information in front of them. Especially, we've got a resource or a program that's going to have not just the speakers and the presentation titles, but actually descriptions that we have to build out. That'll be available likely next week is the target for that being available. So, or 2 weeks, excuse me, the first week. But yeah, next week is the first week in August, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it'll be available next week. And so that'll be a communication that goes out also with a live schedule. So, and we like to share those things always with links rather than downloads, because as we get updated versions, we just update the versions and we can always make it through a link. Yep. But it is available right now on the actual registration page, right beneath the live schedule. It's a separate download where they can, I can share my screen with you right now. Right here, Brian. So download the live schedule. They're able to get that.
Yeah, I wonder why. Oh, I see. Okay, I just perhaps hadn't scrolled down as far. Yeah.
There's two things. Scroll down a little bit further.
Perfect. Yep. Thank you.
Great.
Does anybody else have any questions that we can address briefly before we dive in? And if we're going to address it, we'll let you know that as we go through the meeting, we'll be talking about it.
Yeah, I have a parish who purchased the package because they want to do a watch party and then be able to watch the videos throughout the the year with their catechists, and they asked, when is the earliest time they'll be able to access the videos? And I just didn't remember the exact time.
Opening day of the conference, which is August 12th, and
Okay.
8 a.m. is when we're going to have access.
Great. Thanks so much, Matt.
They should already have access, though, Daniel, to the Bible conference. So that was instant. So that was something that came along with it.
Oh, that's good to know, Matt. Thank you. I can get that information out. That gives them even more to watch. Terry?
Access, so they get it immediately.
Were we gonna put the watch party manuals up on this front page under host a watch party?
We can't we, Matt?
Yep.
I can get those to you right after the meeting.
I have, if they're the same ones
They're
that
the
you
same.
slacked. Okay, I've got those. I've got the Spanish and the English. So
Perfect.
I have a
thanks,
question
Terry.
on the
Those look great.
diocesan.
Great job on those, Terry, by the
Terry.
way.
Yes,
And team.
thank you.
It was a team effort, thank you.
Liliana, you had something.
Yes, for the diocesan pass, basically is the parish leaders that would purchase, or it's encouraged individuals. Everyone should purchase them, but if the parish leader meets with them at a future date, if their access would be enough. Right, the parish leader.
Yeah, so the parish leader purchases it, and then hosting some sort of a gathering where they're going through and they're watching it together, that's fine.
Okay.
What we do, we discourage the sharing of just passwords, right? So it's not like a diocese buys a pass and then shares it with all their catechists or all their parishes, right?
Right, no, so it's the
undermines the
parish
pass.
leader, but the parish buys it and then they meet and gather with their catechist. So the catechist doesn't have to buy it in that case unless they want to purchase individual.
And if they share, if they like, they'll have access to download the MP3s, and so those are downloadable. I mean, if they want to share downloads or something with people, hey, we're going to be working on this, so if you want to listen to this before coming or something like that, they can share a download. Yep.
Yeah. And if I may share with you, their Diocese of Arlington is buying a support pack for each of their parishes. So if you guys think about that, want to do that, please let me know. I can let Matt know, because we can you don't have to do it through the main website. We can kind of go through the back door if you're going to be purchasing them in bulk. It may be easier, like as your diocese, you're going to be saying, if Atlanta were to buy 150 packs, I would get with Matt, directly, and we would do that as opposed to doing on the website. So just saying. So.
Yeah, what that looks like, it would just be like, hey, these are I think there was 90 or so, 80 over at Arlington. Here's the 80 contacts. Here's all of their emails, their names and their emails. That's the list that I would need. And then we would just send an invoice that would be, 50% of what the pass value is. So rather than actually paying you the full price and then having some or commission or anything like that, we just take the commission piece out and just charge the half of the pass payment there. So it's pretty easy. We'll just invoice right out of QuickBooks.
So
I would need to know that earlier than later, though,
yes.
just because it's a manual process, so it's not like an instant, not an instant process, but we can get it done.
Okay, so just so you folks know, we will be having another Zoom call tomorrow for anybody you consider a parish leader. And I believe I sent everybody out that link for tomorrow's call at 10 a.m. We really, really, really encourage you, to give us those people or get that Zoom link to them, because and I know, Terry, your diocese is different, and I understand that, and I respect that, how you guys work a little bit differently. But if it's something that will be helpful to your parish leaders, we will talk to them directly tomorrow about how to market this effectively and where to find everything on the registration page. So if you have anybody you think that would be beneficial to, please share that link or have them send me an email and I will share the link for them. So. Okay, so next on the agenda. Matt, if I'm going to go ahead and let you talk about diocese landing pages and any other promotional items at this point.
Perfect. Okay. So Michelle brought this up. I want to share this. We'll have the video. We can have we have the draft of the bumper. So it's kind of fun. I think the last time I did this, the audio didn't come through, so you guys can imagine it. But I think it'll be okay. Also, heads up for Denise and Patty. We have not incorporated the New Jersey graphics in yet, so use your imagination and on that a little bit. But we will have it's going to look a lot cooler when we get the. You'll see how it looks. Let me share my screen. We'll show that real quick. You hear it?
No.
And I don't think you heard the audio on that, but
No, unfortunately not.
it was fantastic.
It was.
you guys.
The music is really cool.
That looks really good.
But yeah, I love the way that it kind of just brings everything together, highlights the sponsors. So I can take that, and once we get an actual finished copy of the bumper, I'll share it with you all so you can take a look at it. There'll be a closing bumper at the end of all the videos as well that kind of just promotes the conference, hits our sponsors again, and has a little bit a clickable link to something that they for St. Paul Center.
Well, that is one question. Oh, thank you, Matt. Real quick, on the bishops' welcomes on each of the pages, is the bumper going to be on that, or should we put our own like archdiocesan bumper on it?
We left those bare for whatever.
Okay.
If you want to put a bumper on there, that's fine. If you just want to kind of have it open up, I'll show you what Orlando did. Because I used your page. I put you got me a lot of the information here, so it was easy to put it together. So quick view of the stats. If you haven't looked at this yet, folks, the way I've got this broken down is just number of registrants, diocesan support passes sold, pass conversion rate, estimated commission that's coming from that. So the increase from one week to another in both registrants, diocesan support passes, and commission increase. So just some fun KPIs that are there to really help us track our efforts. And the reason I have columns G and H over here is so you can take a look back on, okay, what are the marketing efforts that I did over the last week? What's really working? Because a lot of this, folks, is like, I like to be always in experimentation with this because it's still something relatively new. People know what virtual conferences are, but they're still connecting the dot. A lot of people are still connecting the dots on this. And so it's great to just kind of learn how we're going to be communicating, or what the most effective ways of communicating with our people. And so we can take a look here. I look at these stats, and so here I'm going to give you my interpretation on these things. So here's our totals down here. So of DAS, you guys are doing the lion's share of the promotion right now. We're about to start VCC promotion on Saturday. Okay, so there's going to be an email blast that goes out to our whole list on Saturday promoting this, and we'll have at least one more promotion that'll happen there as well. And so we'll see a good bump next week. And you all benefit from that too. So for the people that we have, members of the participating diocese here, they'll still be able to sign up for you guys. So they'll be able to buy diocesan support passes, and you'll be able to benefit from that marketing. What we see all the time in our registrations for these virtual events after doing almost 20 conferences now over the last year, is there's a hockey stick always in the last 2 weeks. I mean, the last 2 weeks, you see it kind of 2 weeks out, you see it like this. Last week, boom, like that, up to the point of getting up as much as 50 to 60% of the registrations in the last 4 or 5 days leading up to the event. Okay, it's just the nature of it. People kick the can down the road. They can do it with a virtual event, and they do it. But the way that we get that hockey stick curve is not just a product of waiting to the last minute to promote. It's a product of all the seeding that we've been doing leading up to this. So every time you push out a communication to your PCLs, or you put a post up on your Instagram, your Facebook, or your Twitter account, or you have some sort of a mention of this, we're just beating the drum. It's planting seeds, and we're going to reap a harvest. The majority of the harvest is going to be reaped in the last 5 days leading up to the conference. And we saw that last year too, Michelle, if you remember.
Yep.
Okay.
Very much so.
So, I mean, like big jumps. So with this, is there The numbers speak for themselves. I know we don't have the same size dioceses that are here. There are other variables that are there. But if we have not promoted anything yet, I know there's a lot of work that happens in the diocese, and we're often, the majority of the time, we're very shorthanded. But if there have been promotional efforts that we've kind of said, I'll do it next week, it's got to start now. We can't wait until next week for any of the seating. A communication, if it hasn't gone out to PCLs, and I know some people are on vacation or people are just out of the offices are closed for the month of July in some cases. Whatever efforts you can make now to get in touch with your PCLs, as they are still the main effort, folks. Facebook posts aren't going to drive the traffic that we need. It's primarily reaching out to those PCLs and through email communications, through them calling their people, for them setting up their watch parties if they're doing something like that. That is going to be our bid for success. It's been the bid for success from the get-go. But the time to promote that is start doing that now. The cadence that we had set up for this is looking at really invading the parish, right? Getting the word down to the parish level. So we have the bulletin announcements that we provide that are canned to just drop into the bulletins. Still works, still a very effective way of communicating. We have the social media posts that are there. We've been adding also some of our headliner speakers. So you can go into the social media promotion page and you can find Mark Hart. You can find Father Mike Schmitz and some of our other headliners for the conference, right? And be able to get some hype around the event just by some social media campaigns. We're getting into that pace right now of this week, really reaching back to the PCLs and saying, confirming with them, have you communicated this to your parish leaders? Or at least saying I don't want to tell people, like, I know how I would do it, right? How you communicate with your PCLs is completely up to you. But what we're seeing right now is that the best way is just touch base with PCLs. Atlanta, I know you're a really large diocese, but I don't know how big Orlando is relative to you, and Orlando or Charleston, and they're kind of the number 2 and the 3.
Mm-hmm.
Daniel, what's been some of the ways that you've been promoting to get people to sign up?
A lot and early. So I have a communication that goes out weekly to anybody involved in parish ministry. So that includes PCLs, youth ministry leaders. It's opt-in. So I also have a lot of deacons on there, RCA coordinators, ministry of the sick, ministry of consolation, that kind of thing. So I started promoting this probably close to a month ago, if not a little earlier. And there's been something in that message every week, encouraging people to sign up. And then we had an all call last 2 weeks ago with every PCL in the diocese. And so I was able to do it verbally then. And then we have a contact list for catechists, and it's probably only a tenth of all the catechists we have in the diocese, but it's still something like 500 to 800 strong. And we sent that out. And then our communications department has scheduled several posts on social media about this. And then I've also asked another person on my team to email all of the lay associations, or rather the associations of the faithful. So groups like Charismatic Renewal, whatnot, just to let them know and give them that option. So I'm going to have next week an additional email sent out to the catechists, and then a final email sent out that last week to say, hey, this is your last opportunity to register. So we do get that hockey stick. And then I'll do the same thing with the associations of the faithful, and I'll have the communications department put a post on social media at least once next week and the week afterward. So, it sounds like a lot, but it was, I'm lucky to have, to work really well with parallel departments. And then I have a team of people who can work really well with me to send those things.
That sounds phenomenal. Thank you, Dana.
Thanks. I think we should normalize, so since your diocese is larger than mine, Michelle, I think.
He just wants dinner.
Charleston, Michael, can you share what y'all have been doing from a promotional standpoint?
Honestly, I've been talking about this since January with my PCLs at in-person meetings that we have in our local deaneries, and that's been kind of the lion's share. I mean, we've also strategically put out posts through our multimedia communications department, and we keep hammering our social media. We're trying not to actually oversaturate, but to kind of give that constant poke and reminder, and trying to sort of shape it with like a different nature of message, like like praying for the event, like the prayer team stuff that I'll talk about probably in a little bit. Using that as a way of saying, oh, and by the way, there's this thing that's about. So I don't know, that's really been it. I think it's honestly, I'm actually not that thrilled with the numbers we have so far. So I'm I want to shake the trees a lot more.
Thanks, Michael. Anybody else finding some, from what they're picking up on, like some on top of that, some other really effective ways that have been effective for them in reaching out to their PCLs? Share the knowledge. Going twice. Okay, I'll move on. So this is an example. Tara, you would send an email out earlier this week just saying, hey, can we get an idea of what these things are looking at? Look like? Yes. So I put this together. This is Daniel, you had got me a lot of the information that we needed. There could be some more information based on whether or not you plan on doing a live event for the diocese, for your PCL, something like that. We can add that in here, but your diocesan landing page is just really where they're going to go to get something diocesan specific. At the very least, it's, hey, we're here. We're glad that you're here. We want to share a little message, whether it's a video from our bishop or one of our leaders, or a little message of welcome that we've got here. So this is what Orlando's looks like right now with the information that I've gotten. Bishop Noonan's video, you watch this right here. Again, you probably can't hear that. Okay, but we'll create a little header image there. Welcome, we've got English and Spanish text. Visit the website, follow us on social media. Very lean. It's not to be recreating your other website. People are coming here, they're gonna take a look real quick. If you've got a resource like a certification form that you're building, or a specific track, or a specific resource that you want your diocesan leaders to have, that's something that you can email to me. It's very easy to put those things up on the site. As far as driving traffic to these pages, I'm going to be sending communications out saying, make sure you go and see your diocesan pages. There's information that's there, and I'll communicate, like if you have a certificate, any downloads for your diocese, make sure you go to check out your diocesan page for a message from your bishop and any specific downloads or messages from your diocesan leader. So I can have communications like that from there, they have to log into the site, and then they have to go and click on where it says diocesan pages, and everybody will have a drop down at that point. But that's really the purpose of these pages. So I am most of you have sent stuff in. The bare bones. I've got a lot of videos in. And I already talked with New Jersey and kind of some adjusted expectations with them. It's tough to have that, but like just a message for people, thanking them for being here. That's kind of the bare bones piece that we're looking for with this. Questions?
I was just gonna, go ahead, Lillian. Did you have something? Oh, okay. Like with Atlanta, we're gonna have a welcome from the Archbishop, one in Spanish. We will have also a welcome from our superintendent of Catholic schools. And then we will have a link for certification, our codes, so that it corresponds with any talk. They can be able to say, okay, this is methodology, this is theology, whatever the case may be. We're going to link that on our website. So when that is done, if anybody wants to see ours, I'll be glad to share it. Just let me know if you'd like to see our certification document, and you can beg, borrow, and steal from it as you see fit. I'm happy to do that as well. And please do let Matt know if you want that live chat gathering for your diocese for whatever reason, please let him know as soon as you know you want that. That's important.
Carrie, I think you're the only one that's opted into that one so far, but you got your hand raised, so go ahead.
Thank you. Yes, my question is, I noticed at the beginning of this bishop video, you had like a cover or looked like a PowerPoint sheet maybe or something at the very beginning, and it had the bishop's picture on it. Do you need a picture of our bishop?
I can, here we go. I can, yes. If you've got a headshot, typically I can find the headshot readily available online, but it's always safer to get the one that y'all send me.
Okay. And the Zoom party that we're going to have, will that link be on this page? That's all.
Great. Anybody else have any questions about your own landing page?
If we put a link in like our welcome message that references our bishop's diocesan-wide initiative called Creatively Living the Gospel, can that be live on there? Remember, dinosaur here, so basic English. So a live link would allow them to click on that and get to that if I provide that link to you, correct?
Correct. If you go ahead, I'd say go ahead and hyperlink whatever text, I'll be able to copy paste all the hyperlinks in as well.
Okay, and they'll be able to just, okay, because I just didn't know how all of your back of the room stuff works. Thank you.
Great question, Brian. Thank you.
Great. Okay, anybody else have it? Go ahead, Michael.
Yeah, it's actually not directly related to this page, but it involves something that I have to do for this page for the certification form. Do we actually have all of our speakers confirmed now?
I would say we just have one or two that may be out still, Matt.
When you say confirmed, I mean, it's
That have accepted the invite, and or we have any issues with that we're not aware of.
There were 4 of the 90 that when I looked yesterday, I think some of those have already since yesterday have come back on. So I think there's 4 that had not accepted, but I have to talk to John to see if those 4 like we're in communication, but that just haven't quite gone through the process yet.
Okay.
Do we have that? I know we had that draft that
Speaker sheet?
Do we have a like an updated version of that, or is that just still the one we're operating off of?
If you want to, Benny, if you can let him share my screen real quickly, you can see that is existence. We've updated it. I just sent a new one to Matt this morning.
Okay.
That's under the brochure, is it not, Matt?
Conference program.
Correct. So yeah, that's like, yeah, I had not updated that one, but you said it was a small change from the one that you gave me yesterday, which
Correct.
I had updated on there. So if that's not going to be is that a speaker change?
It's a title change under, where was it? It's going, instead of just intercultural, it's intercultural and diversity. It's now going to say intercultural ministries. And that's what I sent you this morning, but there's no other changes outside of that under those subtitles.
And that's the one under download the conference program, right? Correct.
Correct.
Cool. Because that's what I'm going to work off of when I generate that, which
okay.
Yes, I will get to you, Matt.
That's great. Okay, so speaking of, since Michael, we just had you, I wanted to let you guys know about what we're doing for the worship page, that Michael has been so gracious to put together a really great lineup of things that we did not even approach or try to do last year. And I'm so excited about this part. The first thing I want you to know, and I'm gonna put it in the chat, is we need more prayer warriors, do we not, Michael? Okay, I'm gonna put that in the chat and ask people.
We do, yeah. Yeah, here, I have the
that.
link ready, so if I can just send it.
I think I got it. Is it right there?
Yeah, that's either link works.
Let's see if it works. Hang on.
Yep. But
there it goes. Yes, it works.
But so what we're trying to do is kind of wrap this whole event in prayer, especially the day of. I mean, obviously we should all be praying about it now, and I'm encouraging my PCLs to do the same. The idea, that sign up sheet, is basically take an hour, a holy hour, during that 4-day period, and pray for the participants, pray for the speakers, pray for the success of the event, pray for all the intentions of all involved, and just to kind of wrap this whole thing in prayer and the Holy Spirit. So there are several. Oh great, you brought it up. Can you scroll down, because you'll see there's several spots that still need to be filled. I think I put three possible three slots on each time, but there are some times that do not have anyone in there, and and if we could get a few more in there, share it with your PCLs. Again, like I said, this was kind of a way I actually was able to send a post about the conference without having it be another post saying register for the conference, right? It's sort of a secondary reminder, but it also helps people, it helps us have more intercessors as well. So that's kind of the big thing that I hope people realize as we're doing this, that we're united as a church, we're united in prayer, and that while you're attending this, people are definitely praying for you. And we want people to know that. Do you want me to talk about some of the other things?
Yeah,
Michelle?
sure. Don't mind.
Yeah,
And one thing I was gonna, before you do that, I was gonna point out, like what Daniel was saying, reaching out to all those other ministries like Knights of Columbus, the altar guilds. This is a perfect thing for them. They may not, for whatever reason, think that a catechist conference is something they need to attend or want to attend. They may change their mind because they're praying for it. So this is where you can involve the entire parish and not just say only catechists, but we need your prayers because we are your catechists. So please pray for us. So this is another thing you can promote.
Yeah, and giving them a little hook in there and saying, look, if you just want to come to one talk or just attend one thing, sign up. It's free, right? And maybe that little hook will kind of keep them engaged the whole time. So there's that. Sort of wrapping the whole thing. One thing that we are also working on is our prayer opportunities within virtual prayer opportunities within the website itself. So one thing we're working on, and I have to follow up with someone, and if not, I may come back to everyone begging, is a live adoration feed, and we're trying to use an existing adoration chapel, so we don't have to staff it, right? And so we're working on setting that up. But we also have OCP that's going to do a scripture reflection music thing for each day. Pedro Rubalcava, some of you might be familiar with him and his music. He's actually going to be the one doing those for us. We also have some sisters,
Sister Gianna,
who are going to be doing a Lectio, I think, right?
yes.
And I think they're at least doing two.
One in English, one in Spanish.
We also have sort of like in the original, like the Atlanta province, kind of when we had first started this months ago, we had sort of said, all right, well, why don't we each take a day and do a rosary reflection? So we're kind of there'll be a rosary again. That'll also be an on-demand thing. All those things will be on-demand things. Well, except the live feed that'll be there. And we're hoping to end with benediction on Saturday night, by the way, as well, in terms of the live adoration feed. And also on Friday, we'll be doing the Divine Mercy Chaplet at 3 live. We'll be hosting that here in Charleston.
Awesome.
So lots of things, and again, the idea is we just want to shroud this whole event in prayer.
So Michael, if you're still in need of the Adoration Chapel, let me know. I'll get the word out. And so
Yeah.
if you happen to
Will do.
have like a 24/7 adoration chapel as a backup, let me or Michael know, just in case. So. Okay, so the
Yep.
next thing I'm going to ask you to
No.
think about, go ahead, I'm sorry.
So that's okay. Okay, so Daniel, thank you for that. So I think if we've got everybody here, do you mind, Michelle, if I just go through and update my list of what's coming and deliverables and things like
Sure,
that?
go
So,
for it.
okay, so you may have communicated with me and I want to make sure that I've got everything. So if I don't have you, now's the time to correct it. And Benny, can you give me host credentials again? Thank you, sir. As far as the deliverables go, I've got all the diocese here. We're all set. Okay. So like I said, kind of a different deliverable standard for Jersey Diocese, so don't sweat it. But these are the videos that I see are coming in. Atlanta and Charleston, I have an August delivery. Liliana, I don't know if you said, if you can give me an update. I didn't see your video in there.
Communications uploaded it yesterday to the Google Drive.
Okay, great. I didn't see it then. I checked the day before. Great. Is Sister Karen on?
She is not, she is on a retreat today. She'll be back on Thursday.
Okay, great. As far as the description goes, that's, where I just showed you, Orlando had the English Spanish welcome message. That's I still need everybody's description. And if you could email that to me this week, again, I give Jersey Diocese a little bit more of a leeway, but everybody else, if you can get that to me on Friday, our goal is to have the entire conference built by Friday. And then we spend the next week and a half just quality checking and tweaking it. So I'd love to be able to just put that together. So that description, the link for the website, I'm just going to presume that you want us to send them to their, have a link to your diocesan page. All right. If you want something different, please email me that with your description. Okay. And that's just the button that we've got on there saying go here. The diocesan meeting, I just, Daniel, you just said 3:30 on Friday. And Terry, you had said noon on Saturday would work. Does anybody know when they want to do a diocesan meeting? And I'd say the best times for this are either the 3:30 on Friday or the noon on Saturday, given what we've got for live events. So it's not deconflicting with any of the other things or getting too late into the afternoon on Saturday where people just don't want to be at a virtual conference anymore. If you would, go ahead and chat in the time that you'd like to have reserved. And then what I'll do is I will create the Zoom link and I will create a calendar invite that I will send to you. And then we'll have somebody open that link. Like on the day of, all you do is you will click that as the host. Somebody on our team will open up, will actually log in and get the meeting open for you and just pass the host credentials over to you. And then leave you to be in there and do whatever you plan on doing and close the meeting out when you're done. So if you want to chat in, nobody, and you don't have to do these. But if you are going to do them, you want to do it, chat it in now or by Friday, let me know.
Great.
And Matt, we would need to send that link to our participants, or would they have access to it some other way?
They'll have access to it through your site, but I will through your page there, but I will also send a communication out that says diocesan meetings are starting at these times, and it'll so they can join right from their email for Orlando's room at that point.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, we try to make it really easy for people to just click from their email if they can.
Yep, we learned that last year. This is the refining. Go ahead, Brian.
Okay, I'm sorry. How long will the Saturday 1 o'clock session go? Is there a, like if I did a 3 or 3:30, unfortunately, I have to be managing some other things until noon. And then I'll move into, I'd like to have the live chat, but if I had an idea, I don't want to go too late into Saturday, but I don't really have a choice. So if I had an idea of how long that live, schedule that you've already sent would end, the 1 o'clock session, are those for an hour?
So the 1 o'clocks are going to end. Yes, they'll end at 2. And
Okay.
then we have a live adoration that's going to be going and wrapping up at 3:30. So there will be a little bit of competition but again, there's going to be competition on these things, right? And we're going to be recording this stuff too. So if people want to go back and, take a look at the
Okay.
live
So
recap, they can do that.
would like 2:30 be feasible? And if we have just a few people show up and they're satisfied, they can switch over to anything else after.
We can do 2:30. Yeah.
Okay.
I see
will
yours,
send
Lily,
it
on
to
it
you.
too.
I'll send it to you so you don't forget. Thank you.
Very good.
Matt, that's a
I
good
have the same
question that
problem
came up in our
about
staff. Go
thing.
ahead, sister. Sister, did you have something? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
Yeah, I have the same problem. I have a commitment Saturday morning. So I might have to do like Brian, go to that late Saturday afternoon if I do a diocesan thing.
Sure.
Have to
I
think.
mean,
That's
folks,
fine.
we can do them at any time. If this is a priority we can do it at any time on Friday or Saturday. Even Thursday, we could do it if that's something that works for you. So the conference goes from Thursday to Sunday, right? Sunday, we just don't have any of the live events on Sunday. It's a Lord's Day. We just kind of allow people to just kind of go at their leisure. Not a whole lot of engagement on Sundays, we found.
Well, a thing I have to consider is that all of our schools, public and Catholic, are in session by then. So that does affect how and when things could be done. Everybody in my diocese is in school by the 12th of August. Public or Catholic or private. Brian shaking his head. So that's a difficulty we have with this.
Understood. But, we'll be as flexible as we can, sister. So keep that in mind. And the one thing that somebody did bring up this morning in our staff meeting, Matt, was on the live chats. When one buys the diocesan support pack, will those live chats be recorded and also be able to be watched?
All live sessions are going to be recorded and available for replay
Thank you.
with the diocesan support pass. So
that's great.
So, yeah,
And
those
that's
are-
something to promote.
Yep.
That if you've missed a live chat and wanted a deep dive, like say with Father Spitzer, you can watch that and you'll get more out of it. When you watch his presentation, you watch the live chat and listen to it, you've gotten the full experience. That's another promotional piece. So thank you for that. Okay. Moving on,
Brian.
if we can, are we good?
I have a question.
Go ahead, Terry.
Matt, would you be able to send us the link for our Zoom meetings as soon as possible so that we can put that in a promotion?
Yep.
Okay, thanks.
And Terry, since you were just speaking, if you wouldn't mind, I'm going to introduce the watch party idea. And if anybody has any questions, I can also share a screen to go through them. I'll start with the English. But Terry and her team put together just an amazing couple of documents on how to put together a watch party. I mean, it's literally step by step. It's a no-brainer. You put this thing in front of you, you just follow the procedures, and you're going to have a very successful watch party. One thing I will ask, and I'm going to please try to keep driving home this point to your own people, it is imperative that even if they are doing a watch party, we need each individual to register for the conference. It's a free registration. We need to see those numbers. It builds that excitement. It also allows them full access to the conference. So even if they're doing a watch party on Saturday morning, at Thursday at 8 a.m., they can start watching anything else they want. And then they can go to their watch party. Maybe they want to watch it twice, but it is imperative that we have them register individually, not just go to a watch party. It's a both and, not an either or. So Having said that, let me share my screen. Terry, if you want to speak to, let me pull it up. Where's my watch party? There we go. Let me share screen.
And actually, the idea for the watch party came up in our discussions early on, not as an alternative to doing this by yourself, but to encourage people to, you know, come and see in person and then explore more. So that was our idea initially in doing it. And I think it's working. I think the people who are signing up early are the ones that know the watch party's happening. We have about 8 of them happening right now across the diocese. We were looking to get 12, one in every deanery. But I'm also concerned in promoting this at this particular moment that the COVID Delta variant is on the rise. And I guess for those dioceses that are in areas where that's happening, it may not be feasible. And proper mask wearing and all that needs to be considered yet again. Does anybody feel like we're having Groundhog Day?
Yes.
Here we go again. Okay. So anyway, just flip down. That's the cover. It is in English and it is in Spanish, the identical workbook. And there's a little thing about the conference, tells you a little bit. There's keynote speakers, presentations. So in case you're giving this to somebody right now who has never seen this before. And the other thing I've been adding with the live chat, although the link is there, if I send this book to somebody via email, I'm also sending that live chat link directly. And I've been telling my people, look at the live chat list and then look at the schedule. And those are the 2 things that are pretty much going to drive what they might be able to do at this time. And the schedule's down later. This just gets you connected to the SCC website, tells you to check about certification as you're planning. And then on each of the next following pages are back up. Oh,
sorry.
These are the next pages where you can actually, hand one page to the person who's doing hospitality, hang on to the budget and for the person who's doing that. If someone else is going to help you do the schedule, you can do that. So it was designed to be a single page item so that people who have a team of people helping them, it's easy to pass them the page they need, give the technology page to the technology person. So, okay, continue, scroll away. This talks about all the team members you might have in the parish. If you have a large parish, sometimes if you're a small parish, you're it. And then we talk about our target audiences, and here are all the different audiences you could invite to a watch party.
Don't forget those parents.
Yeah. And then we talk about venue and to consider multiple spaces. And, to have, if you have multiple audiences, maybe everybody can gather for lunch and group prayer. And then after that, break out and then come back at the end for whatever the concluding prayer or offering it might be, the closing. And then technology is a good thing to think early on about. Internet will be required. Slide on down. And then just a little, room and check off, do you have all the things you need for the technology person? And then budget straight up, just it's what it's going to cost or what you're going to find around around your parish. And hospitality tried to think of those other little things that you need for planning an event. And options that if you can't, and if you can't get it catered, maybe a potluck or donation from a lovely restaurant nearby. And then here's the models. This is just samples. This is what a Thursday. Oops, slide up just oops, lost her.
Sorry, I lost my light. It likes to turn off. This way.
So up. Yeah, keep going up.
Okay.
A couple more. So that's just an example. Stop right there. So that's what a example of a Thursday or Friday night event could look like. That's what the Saturday could look like. That's what the live chats are all in there for you. Just an example, but folks will do what they want. And some of my folks have ended at noon or at lunch there and are not doing the afternoon thing, but that's all good. And they scooch their rosary piece up. And then just the scheduling worksheet, however you want to, for planning, what your times and activities will be. And then this is very important, invitation. How are we going to invite folks? I'm sure most of this is covered in that promotional stuff, but same types of communication places you can do. And here's the registrar sign up, and it says we highly encourage participants, whether attending an event or doing conference individually, to sign up individually. And that's where they sign up at. And
So, I mean, this is a beautiful document,
so
Terry.
I think that's it. There we go.
The thing is, this is not just something we can use for this, but think of the fact that if you've got the diocesan support pack, you've got another Bible conference, another 60 videos. This continues to be a successful watch party guideline. So this is something to me is invaluable to have already done, ready to go. So thank you again for you and your group and your, graphic designers, to you, to everyone that did all this hard work, and then English and in Spanish. So
right, there were Atlanta people on that team too, and I appreciated them.
They're awesome.
Thank you all.
So it was a great group effort. So I appreciate that. So, so we've got the watch parties. I also will be able to send you after the meeting a one-sheet PDF, which again, the lovely Terry Baldwin did again from Raleigh. It basically is a one sheet, and I think if I got it up here, hang on, and I can try to share that. I don't think I pulled it up in my information. I did not, but it's a one sheet that will then give you everything you need with clickable links. So it'll be like, here's an email, here's this, here's that, here's the registration page, and I'll send that off to you. It's going out for us as a newsletter, and we can send that out to you to use to your people. There's only one thing that needs to be altered on the email, or it's the email, isn't it, Terry? That you can customize it. Like yours says the Diocese of Raleigh. Ours will say the Archdiocese of Atlanta. So that's the only thing, is look on that email and then, put your diocese name in there, and then it's good to go. It's a beautiful document with literally everything you need to know to send out in one piece. So, and then I think the only other thing I wanted to talk to you all about was the catechist pins. If you ordered them, we'll be shipping them out this week. Raleigh and Charleston, I'm coming to the province meeting, so I'm bringing yours with me. So saving on a few costs there. On that catechist pin is a QR code. Please, please, we had a very generous sponsor for that, for Science of Sainthood. There's a QR code on that that gives you 2 weeks free from his website of a trial. So I please encourage you, when you give them the catechist pin, say, take out your phone, scan the QR code. We want to make sure that this very generous donor, Science of Sainthood, and Matt, this gentleman, he's got good work. You might be able to speak to that a little bit, that he's also doing a talk, a presentation, but he was very generous, allowing us to get 5,000 pins out to our catechists that will say, I participated in this, and I'm actually, looking forward and working on my certification and trying to get myself more involved and more educated on all things of the church. So please support that if you would, please. And then speaking to the next thing, we have a poll that our platinum sponsor, which is St. Paul Center, is going to be, I'm going to be sending that out to you as diocesan leaders. I'm asking you to share that with all your PCLs, what St. Paul Center is trying to do, because before this conference, and to get more information as other conferences come up, they want to see, what do the catechists want to see? What kind of support materials do they want after the fact? How can they be better prepared to have any kind of books, webinars, anything along those lines that St. Paul Center can do along with their Franciscan University and all the things that they do, that they can support catechists in a very real, useful way. So that's what the poll is. It's about 7 questions. And I asked, please, if you can we're trying to get at least 100 respondents for them. If you could send it out to your catechetical leaders, as well as if you would please take the poll yourself, that'd be very appreciated.